All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for our daily videos keeping you informed on everything going on with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, the whole market. Let's jump right in. This is the hottest news today. Anthony Pompliano, the co-founder and partner at Morgan Creek Digital, he is the host of the Off the Chain podcast, an all-around likable guy, has just put his reputation on the line. He is predicting that by December 31st, 2021, we will see a Bitcoin price of at least $100,000, and he backs this up in today's article with sound reasoning. So let's see if you agree with this, because today I'm going to read this and we're going to go over this in detail. This is a detailed price prediction. This is normally a newsletter that is sent only to their list of investors, but this one he released publicly for free. And that takes a lot of gusto, I think. Like I said, he's putting his reputation and the reputation of Morgan Creek Digital on the line. So let's check this out. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can subscribe right here, and let's get into it. The question of the day before we begin: what is your price prediction for Bitcoin? Give us a price, give us a time, be realistic, and comment below. Let's get into it. So he starts off his newsletter by reminding us that himself and, of course, Morgan Creek Digital, they've put their reputation on the line before. He says, on August 24th, 2018, Bitcoin was trading at $6,770. That was last year. I wrote an email to our investors and shared it with our subscribers in the newsletter. We said, we are likely to see Bitcoin near $3,000 before we see Bitcoin at $10,000 again. This prediction of a 50% drop in Bitcoin was met with plenty of skepticism, but it was ultimately proved to be accurate. Bitcoin proceeded to drop around $3,200 in December of 2018 before recovering and shooting past $10,000 this past Friday. Anticipating these market movements allowed Morgan Creek Digital to avoid investing our institutional investors' capital in Bitcoin during the bear market, while having confidence to start investing again around $3,800 price point in March of 2019, after the market had bottomed. Simply, it is our job to have an opinion about where the market is going and act accordingly. As we continue moving forward into Bitcoin's new bull market, I want to publicly state my personal thoughts on future price movements. As I have previously said, making predictions is difficult. I don't aim to be 100% accurate, but rather for being right more times than I'm wrong. Part of my process as a professional money manager is forming a thesis, a price target, identifying a timeline, a date, and establishing a confidence level, and then constantly re-evaluating these three aspects of my thought process as I receive new information. This exercise wouldn't be nearly as rewarding if 1, I didn't have material skin in the game, and 2, have the stomach to be held publicly accountable for my opinions. With that in mind, I believe that Bitcoin will reach a 100,000 price point before December 31st of 2021, and my current confidence level of this happening right now is around 70 to 75%. It is important to understand a few things as Bitcoin marches towards $100,000. So this is his reasoning. But first off, number 1, this is not financial advice. Number 2, Bitcoin is a highly volatile asset. As we go from $11,000 to $100,000, I anticipate that there will be numerous 20 to 30% drawdowns from new all-time highs as the asset continues to appreciate in value. Number 3, there will be a variety of experts that will attempt to call the top of this bull market, and there's a low probability that any of them will get it right. Number 4, the price appreciation, and this is key, guys, the price appreciation will be driven by a very simple idea: supply versus demand. Bitcoin is a fixed supply asset with a disinflationary supply schedule, so over the next 2.5 years, there will be incredible increases in demand, see the next bullet point, while the total supply remains fixed, and the new supply is decreased by 50% starting in May of 2020. Yes, before we move on to number 5, let's just think about number 4. Let's think about what he's saying, because I think he's right. There's going to be an incredible increase in demand for Bitcoin over the next couple years. Why? Well, number one, Bitcoin isn't going away. Governments can't shut it down because it's decentralized. It has no single point of failure. Number two, the awareness, the understanding, all this awareness around Bitcoin is increasing exponentially. It follows the adoption S-curve. Number three, you can probably see that demand is going to go up, yet they can't print anymore. They cannot mine anymore. There's only so many Bitcoins that are going to be available, and next year, the supply flow will get cut in half, which leads us to number five. The increase in demand for Bitcoin will come from a variety of sources and will be due to a variety of factors. These include large-scale institutional adoption, multiple ETFs, retail product approvals, increased global instability, lack of performance in traditional markets, and the continued manipulation of markets, economies, and currencies by governments around the world. Then number six, the market cap of Bitcoin will reach $2+ trillion when Bitcoin is worth $100,000. This is still less than 1/3 the market cap of gold and less than 1/40th the global money supply. And it won't come as a surprise to me that many people may disagree with these thoughts. In fact, that's what I'm hoping the reaction is. The non-correlated, asymmetrical nature of Bitcoin presents a unique risk-reward. An investment in Bitcoin will deliver approximately 10x return if I'm correct in my $100,000 price target, and the risk is a complete loss, a negative 1x. This type of trade-off is personally exciting to me. So what do you think? I think this seems completely rational. I think this seems completely reasonable, especially as more and more people think about this, as more and more people choose to risk just a little bit of their wealth in Bitcoin. This causes the price to go up, and more people become attracted. This is a positive, infinite feedback loop. All the while, Bitcoin's network becomes stronger, the hash power becomes greater. And then, of course, if you're not in it for the money, perhaps you're in it for the chance to opt into a permissionless, decentralized, unconfiscatable, unprintable, harder money than the world has ever seen before. Maybe that's what will attract you. Because with Bitcoin, you can store value, you can send money to anybody in the world, and there is absolutely nothing a third party can do to stop you, and it cannot be devalued by any government, and this is very attractive to me. These are exciting times. It's up to you, though. Buy the ticket, take the ride, or watch from the sidelines. Within the next few years, I think that Bitcoin will transition to be seen as a full-blown store of value. The question is, what do we mean when we say store of value? I talk about this a lot, but I do always like to hear other people's opinions, so check this out. The Bitcoin store of value argument, simply put. The wealthy don't leave their money in banks. Banks are risky for large sums and carry inflation risk. The wealthy store their money in mediums, like real estate, like bonds, like rare art, like gold. The problem with these assets is that they either carry default or counterparty risk, bonds, are highly illiquid and hard to sell, rare art, or are hard to transport and geographically restrictive, real estate, gold. Bitcoin, simply put, is the first asset in human history that the wealthy can park large sums of money in while remaining highly liquid, having zero default or counterparty risk, and all the while allowing complete and frictionless geographical mobility. Bitcoin is the best store of value that the world has ever seen, not because it lacks volatility, stability is going to form over time, but because there is zero default risk, zero counterparty risk, while remaining highly liquid and allowing complete geographical mobility. Bitcoin does everything at once. It fulfills all functions of a perfect store of value, something that has never existed before. I can envision a day not too far in the future when Bitcoin is preferred as a store of value over real estate, bonds, rare art, gold, and of course bank deposits. And once again, there is nothing that any government or third party can do to stop it. And that's it. I agree with all the sentiment that Anthony Pompliano put into writing. I hope I was able to provide my own perspective on this. Overall, this is stuff that we talk about on this channel all the time. And yeah, if you take a look at the price, we have just reached a new all-time high for the year. We are in exciting times. Buy the ticket, take the ride. or sit on the sidelines and watch. Either way, Bitcoin's moving.